Hello, everybody.
Hi, everybody. Hi
Welcome
from
to,
Sarnia.
yes. Okay, so this week, Noelle, let's say who we are first, and then
Okay.
we'll say our hellos. So
Okay.
go
Okay.
ahead.
Okay. I'm Noelle. And
And
I
I'm
am
Kelly.
and we're from Southwestern Ontario. And this is our weekly knit chat. So our knit chat is just kind of an informal get together where we kind of talk about what we've been knitting or anything else that might pop into the conversation. And we're glad you're all here joining us. So we'll go through a few names here. We've got Valerie's here and Barb and Elaine and see Tracy. Hi, Tracy. Haven't seen you for a long time. A few hours. And Julia, Kim. And if I miss anybody, I don't mean to. Oh, Dawn. Hi, Dawn. And Karen from the Yarn's Tale. And Linda, Mary. Hi, Mary's waving again.
Hi, Mary.
And Joan. And Woolen. Sandy. Who else here? Marianne. Hi, Marianne. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Anna. Hi, Nikki. My thing just caught up. Peggy, Deborah, Linda, Carla, Linda, Annette, Rachel. Hi, Rach. I'm home. Susan. Okay, did I miss anybody, Kelly?
Oh, we've missed lots of people. I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry. It's hard to go through, but we say hi to everybody.
Hi to everybody.
Yeah.
If it's your first time here, welcome, firstly.
Yes.
And if it's not your first time here, welcome back. We're so happy to have you. This is our virtual knitting group. So we're just pretending that we're hanging out at a coffee shop, and the tables are getting bigger. We're getting more people in here every week. So we're occupying bigger space now, and we're soon going to need to maybe move to a larger coffee shop.
And you'll probably learn that I probably don't do very much knitting at these knit chats because usually I have to go back and unknit it the morning after.
Yes. So. Yes. But it is so good to see everybody. I hope everybody had a great week. Mm-hmm. The weather's been pretty decent here. Not to give you a weather report, but we've had pretty good weather. So it's been really nice to be here. It's been pleasant, and we could probably use a little rain right now, but we should ask too, can everybody hear us okay and everybody see us okay? And Mary has a chicken in the oven. Now she can chill for an hour and a half. Yay, that is awesome planning, Mary.
Yeah.
Awesome planning. We had leftovers tonight, super quick dinner. I made pulled pork on the weekend, so we had leftovers just with coleslaw and super, super easy. So I could be here.
We just got back from Bala today. We were up in Bala visiting Tracy and her husband, and we had an amazing time. It was wonderful. It was so relaxing. We got lots of knitting done, lots of eating, bike rides, and a lot of drinking. Not a lot. some drinking, some good wine, some Prosecco. So we have a new thing when we open the Prosecco bottle now. Instead of you hear the pot, we go Shupa.
Shupa.
No, sheep. Sheepa.
Oh, Sheepa. Perfect. And so when that Prosecco's open, it has to be finished. You can't keep that.
Sure. Well, I mean, yeah, you have to drink it. So anyway, so it was wonderful to get away. Good. So hit a few yarn shops.
Our techie people are telling us that the sound and the picture is good. So
okay, good.
We're holding on. This would be week 2. If we get through this episode, this will be week 2 of Kelly's successful internet.
So
fingers crossed.
Crossed. My internet hasn't been used here in a week, so let's hope it's.
Well, it should be super powerful now.
It should be.
Somebody at the beginning of this episode, when we were just checking in, who's binding off and has been at it for 7 hours today.
I think that was Barb. She said she was binding off her. What's that one that everybody's doing? The Stephen West one.
Stephen West. The Vertices Unite. Yes. And she's been at it for 7 hours.
Yeah, it's an I-cord bind off. And Rachel, I was talking to Rachel over the past couple of days, and she just finished her night shift shawl.
Yes,
so
she did.
She couldn't believe how long it took to do the I-cord bind up. I mean, the I-cord bind up does look amazing. Like it really gives a nice finished edge, but it is a little bit time consuming. Like you think, all I have left to do is bind off. You're binding off and binding off and binding off. But it's worth it in the end because you get a really nicely finished shawl. So
I'm just reading Sarah's comment. Sarah, you are my soul sister. I'm telling you, This is my house. Her husband is complaining that it's too cold. He's wearing a sweatshirt all day and wool socks. She's in a sleeveless dress and they fight over the AC. We are soul sisters. I swear I'm married to an 85-year-old man.
Well, actually,
I don't know. That was really rude. Maybe okay, I should just take that back. Sometimes we say things and maybe, he's he's like a very elderly, very cold man. He's just cold all the time.
He's just cold. Some people are cold all the time. Now up in Bella, it was colder because we did have our wool socks on in the evening. So
I had socks on one night last week.
It was cool enough to have the socks on, so that was nice.
But how fun was it to pull out the knitted socks and just put them on, even if it was just for one night?
Well, I know, because I looked at the weather forecast before we went and I thought, yeah, I'm sticking in some socks. And Ross didn't, and he wished he had them.
You see? Well, and I said this last week too. When we hit the 1st of August, that's when the weather turns. Like, I think that because we get like warm days still and we get those cooler, crisp nights, and you can smell fall is coming for us. It'll soon be pumpkin spice season and pulling out the woolies.
Oh, it's too early to think about that.
No, it's really not.
I don't think about that till September.
Okay, but fall is my favorite season of all. It's the best. It's my favorite. So what? Linda is cheating on her knitting with a crochet. Oh, well, way to go. I think if I have the right Linda, maybe I don't. Is crocheting new for you? I'm not sure if I have the right Linda. There was a Linda that was just going to pick up crochet. Yeah. Maybe, I think. Okay. And Kathy's sitting outside knitting. It's perfect summer evening here in Pennsylvania. No,
yeah,
PA.
PA is Pennsylvania.
PA. Okay.
Yes. Well,
People are going to challenge us again with our U.S. geography.
I'm pretty positive that PA is Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Pretty positive.
Barb says she's 7 hours deep and she's got 2 hours left, she thinks. Wow. But you know what? When it's done, it's a beautiful shawl.
That's right. So
Valerie has a row of brios left on her sweater. I think Valerie just finished some socks yesterday too.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot on socks, and I did work quite a bit on my shifty sweater, so it's getting down there. So it's going to be my next thing, I think, to finish up once I finish all the other things.
Oh, and she's gone. All right. Hopefully she pops back in. We'll do this until she finds her way back. Okay. Where are we? Nikki had her second day. Oh, baby is now in bed, so she's knitting and relaxing again. Exactly what you needed. It is. It's good. It's good to. Rachel is on day 2 of potty training. Good luck with that, Rachel. I hope that goes well for you. Well, I wonder if Noelle's going to be able to make it back in, or if I need to send her another link. Not sure. I spoke too soon about having 2 weeks of good luck, didn't I? I jinxed it. I shouldn't have said that. Carla has just learned the sew and bind off. And it's time consuming. I like the way it finishes, Carla, but it does take a little bit of time to do for sure. And Mary is almost halfway finished the first sleeve of her shifty. Well, that's good news, Mary. I can't wait to see that. I think Noelle's made her way back. I'm going to bring her in.
Okay.
You're back.
Apparently it needs a longer rest, I guess. No, I think I had something in the power cord slipped out and the battery power died. So
okay,
whatever. We're back now because I had unplugged things to take my spinning wheel with me and probably didn't plug something in right.
Did you spin in the car? That's the question.
No.
Okay.
I don't have a battery pack. I'd have to have remember, it's an electric wheel, so I'd have to have a battery pack to spin in the car.
You don't have one of those little adapters you can plug into your car?
Not yet.
Not yet. Yes, Julia, thank you for reminding us that shift happens. Yes, it does.
That's right. It did. Look, guys, I shifted something else. So this was my new This was my new project. So I decided to do a full knit. So I'm using the shifty pattern. And I'm using all my little blips are mohair held double. So it makes such a soft, like if you look at the inside, and I think that's going to probably, once you wear them, it's going to felt up.
Mm-hmm.
And it just feels like, and I'm almost at the top. Yeah. So it's fun.
Super cute.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Nice.
How are you going to handle that when you get to the,
I'm going to do it like a toe decrease.
and are you going to keep the blips in, or will you go to a solid color?
Nope, I'm going to keep the blips in, but I'm going to keep the 2 stitches where the decrease are just in the background color.
Okay.
And then do the blips inside that, because I want that warmth up at the top of the knit too, right? And then I'll do the thumb the same way. I'll still put the blips in right to the top, but the thumb, I mean, I'll just do, and then at the very end, I'll just do that drawstringy thing through the, I don't think it's called a drawstringy thing, but pretty sure that's not what it's called, but I'll know what I mean, where you thread them through and pull it. So I don't know if it has a name. So Sue says she just bought the pattern for the Fringe Supply field bag. And she made 2 trips to the fabric store to get canvas. That's awesome. Because I have a couple of them. I mean, really, it probably isn't that hard to make, right? Mm-hmm. Like, it's just a flat bottom drawstring at the top, and then just kind of what makes it is the leather handle.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Sarah, thanks for pointing out to me what CP Clinic was. I get that now. Yeah, I didn't know that when Nikki first put it in there, but good luck with that, Nikki.
Yeah, I hope everything goes
well for you. Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, I didn't mean to gloss over that. I was reading something that I didn't know what I was getting into there, and so I've got caught up on that now. So all the best for that.
Yeah.
Let us know how you make out for sure. I fell way behind.
I know.
Behind.
I don't know. I'm really behind because of being off for a couple of minutes.
It's the weirdest thing too. I don't know if this happened to you when I was disappearing into the black hole, but it's like that sudden panic of being left alone in a restaurant or something. It's like, I have plenty to talk about when I see you on the screen sitting there beside me. And then as soon as you're gone, I'm like,
I know, what are we going to talk about?
It's the worst feeling. It's so silly.
Yeah.
It's absolutely silly.
See, and I go back. Julia said she knew it was going to be mitts. Well, pretty much, I think we've almost covered everything else, right? We've covered hat,
I think
shawl, sweater. And I think she is
you
coming
could
out
make
with
yourself
some
woolly undies.
I think I might pass.
We can call you some shifty pants.
I don't want Shift Happens underwear.
Call you shifty pants.
Nope, don't want that.
Oh my goodness.
So, anyway. Oh, Tracy said we should do thongs. We were talking about making, up at the cottage, we were talking about making thongs for the guys, but like kind of lighting it with really rustic
for when they're badly behaved. But doesn't half the time when you start a shawl, they all look like thongs anyway. So that's all you have to do. Do the beginning of a shawl, right?
Yeah. Now Mary said she wants to make shifty wristers. Those would be nice too. And I mean, you could easily make like a cowl, just like a plain round cowl, like not necessarily the one that's shaped the way she does the shift.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you could just have a round one, because it would be more one that you could just do it like maybe about this big, just for like inside your coat or something. So there is lots of different ways that you can interpret that pattern and put it into things. I still have to put it into some little granddaughter things. So that'll be fun. I think those mitts would even be cute for little ones.
I think so too. They would be, and super easy. You know, it's a fun a quick pattern to work on. Yeah.
So
Sarah said that she is looking for anybody to have tips on the wool and honey sweater. Did you not make that one, Noelle?
Yep, and I'm ripping it out.
Okay.
Okay, first of all, I did it in superwash wool, which I do not think is a good mix for that pattern, because especially with all those long yarn carries. Mm-hmm. So when I did that, when you do those with the superwash, it's going to be so easy for those to get caught and get pulled. And I mean, I don't know why I even kept going, actually. Another thing that I didn't like on it was because it's garter stitch, you get that seam down the back, because at the point when I did it, I didn't know about that you could do helical for garter stitch and not have that. And I really don't like that seam down the back of the garment. So I might eventually do it again in a more rustic yarn, like a yarn that's going to felt a little bit and hold that together, but I don't like it in the superwash. So, but I did see that Sarah was saying that she was looking at Brooklyn Tweed Loft, which is probably the right type of yarn for that sweater.
Yeah.
But in my opinion,
I've seen lots of that sweater that I really like, though.
Oh yeah. Yep. But I don't think it's going to be very practical in superwash yarn. Because those loops are never going to hold, and they're going to get caught on everything. I think. Well, the way I live my life, they're going to get caught on everything.
Yeah.
So.
Susan says that Andrew. Okay, I'm going to pop this one up on the screen too, just in case you're not aware of the code. But I knew that she was having this birthday sale last week. I didn't know it was still on this week. So the Andrea Mowry birthday sale, and I think. Is she doing 30% off the patterns or 38% off the patterns? I'm not entirely sure. I read the email and I haven't retained that information.
I kind of just went through it, but I haven't really had a good look at it. But I think it was 38% off all her self-published patterns. So I don't know if she's got anything else that's published through anywhere else.
So that's a great time to pick up some patterns if you want to set those aside even for some fall winter knitting. So thanks, Susan, for reminding us of that. Judy wants to know if I finished my shift shawl. I did not, Judy. It'll be done before the end of this month.
You still got a month.
We still have a month. And I did pull it back out for the first time in a couple of weeks, and I was working on it this past weekend. I didn't get a lot done on it, but I'm committed to it, and I know how much I'm going to like it. So I'm going to hang in there, and it's going to for sure be done.
Yeah. Now, Tracy says she made the even fall, and the seam down the back drives her crazy, but it was a fun knit. Now, I know that was one of the newer ones by Andrea Mowry, so I haven't really looked at it. I think you said you got it.
Yes, I have that one, and I really like it.
I have to look at that and see if there's any way to avoid.
Or is there just a way? Could you just move that? Either do two things you could do. You could try doing a jogless join when you get to that, or I was even thinking about readjusting the sweater and moving it to a side seam where I wouldn't notice it as much. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know, because I don't have the pattern, and I haven't really looked at what the stitch is to know.
Yeah, I haven't had a close enough look.
That stitch pattern. So.
Okay.
So Julia says the birthday sale goes on until August the 5th.
And it is 38%. Good.
Yeah, so there's 2 more days. So.
Okay, good. Okay.
I
don't think there's anything else I need right now because I have a lot of her patterns. I like a lot of her sweaters and her shawls too.
So Tracy says that knitting the even fall reminds her a lot of knitting the shift. So the stitch pattern must be somehow similar. Not the stitch pattern, but Tracy, is it mosaic knitting? Like, do you only ever carry one color in a row?
I think it's mosaic, but I don't think it's blippy. Like I don't think it's dimensional.
Maybe it's stocking stitch, but mosaic.
Yeah.
So Valerie said she got the rose, and Susan got Winter Beach Cardi and the Pink Fizz. I love that Winter Beach Cardi. I have the yarn.
I bought yarn to do the Winter Beach Cardi, so that's also in my plans this fall.
I bought yarn to do a Winter Beach Cardi, and I already have yarn to do a Winter Beach Cardi. But this is what
6 patterns. Wow, ambitious.
That's what I just bought to do it.
Oh, that's so nice.
So
I like that a lot.
It's not showing up, but it's like a leafy, limey sort of green. But then it's got it's got tweed through it that's like little flecks of like turquoise and. Yeah, so I think that would look really nice in the.
What's the color called?
Would show up really well. The color leaf.
Leaf.
Yes, and this is Estelle Echo Tweed DK, and it is 75% organic wool, 25% cellulosic viscose.
That sounds like a disease.
I think that's like, it's kind of like a fiber like bamboo. So, but anyway, it feels really nice. And this has got like 350 meters in 100 grams, but it's a thicker. So anyway, I think it's going to work out nice in that, because that composition or that weight is very similar to the Fiber Co. What was the one?
Neighborhood Fiber Co. Isn't it?
No. Fiber Co. Aaron Moore Light.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Yes, like that burgundy one that I did for Little Red Mitten.
Yes. Yes.
And that the weight is pretty comparable to that, and it turned out nice in that weight. So.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think and it was a fun cardigan to knit, but there's so many other things to knit. It's just.
And here's the issue. We're not even into fall yet. So wait until fall when the designers start rolling out the fall runway of patterns.
Just going to totally have to have like internet free days and just knit and not look at anything new coming out.
I know. I'm behind before things even start. That's the issue.
Yeah. So.
And I've been sewing. I've been doing a fair bit of sewing too, like sewing for me. Oh, and sewing for the shop. I have to show you something. These are so stinking cute. They don't have strings in them yet, but check this out. These are like little moose and Adirondack chairs.
Those are cute.
They're swimming. Some of them, like these little ones here, right? These ones. It's so hard to do this, like looking in a mirror. Yeah. These ones here have little Canada flags on them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and but I love the Adirondack chairs. So I've got a bunch of different styles of bags made up in these, and like I said, these still need strings, but I just thought I'd show them. They're so cute. It's the moose days of August.
Yep. Going back, Karen says that neat is such a relative term when it comes to knitting. I know, because if one of us is going to a yarn store, it's like, do you need anything?
No, but I want. We always want all the things, right?
Yes. And Tracy says that the even fall?
Even fall,
right? Yeah, it's not dimensional, but it's mosaic. Oh, that's neat. Like I really like doing mosaic. Well, I like doing color work too, but mosaic's nice because it's a lot faster because you're only one color across the row, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it still looks like it's more complicated than it actually is. That's what's nice about it.
Yes.
So it looks like lots of people have bought the Winter's Beach. I think it's just like a perfect cardigan because it still comes over. It's not a really long length. It's just like kind of an easy throw on over. Now, the only thing I don't know about the one I do for me is whether I'm going to do the pockets or not. Because honestly,
I was going to say that. I got away from my train of thought, but I was going to ask you if you were going to put the pockets in because
I don't think so. Because you know what? I wouldn't use them.
I wouldn't use them. And
so, and it's just
I think I'm not going to leave the pockets in. No.
So I think I probably won't put the pockets in because I find unless it's a really, really heavy weighted sweater, like if you use the pockets, a lot of times they tend to droop or you pull the cardigan down or at least I do because I'd stick my hands in it and I'd be pulling it down, right? Like maybe other people would not, but I just know that if I have them there, my hands are going to be in them and it's probably going to pull the sweater out of shape. Plus I had to make some adjustments the first time when I did put the pockets in because they didn't switch the gauge for the stocking stitch. And you're putting it behind an all cabled thing. So if you didn't do something like go down needle sizes or adjust your stitches, it would be way wider than that. And how do you sew that down outside the pocket? But
well, it's hard to say. Like I think that I'm not going to put it, but I've been following along the knitting journey, and oh gosh, I'm trying to remember what the name of her sweater is. It's Karen from A Yarn Tale, correct? Yes. It's Karen?
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Yes, Karen. It's Karen. Sorry. Okay, so she was working on a cardigan that had pockets in it. It's a petite knit pattern. Do you know which one I mean? Maybe I'm trying to think which one it's called. But she was feeling the same way about the pockets. And she went through a lot of thought process on her pockets. And she was thinking about leaving them out because, they weren't really the right size for anything. But in the end, she put them in. And she was really happy with the results. The Copenhagen, thank you, Karen. The Copenhagen cardigan. And she was really happy with the results. And she was happy that she put the pockets in. So I don't know, like sometimes, we think that we wouldn't like something, but I mean, it's there because the designer thought it was a good element to have in the pattern. So sometimes I don't know. We have to trust the
I
designer
know, but
instead of our better
I'm not
instincts.
going to put them in just for a decorative element. I'm going to put them in if I want to use them.
But
And
on
I don't think I would on that particular cardigan.
Yeah. But on her Copenhagen cardigan, they ended up it looked really good. So whether she ever puts anything in them or not,
Oh yeah, yep.
they still looked really nice.
Yep.
And so I think she was quite happy, and the sweater finished up beautifully. She did a really nice job. So,
but I mean, that's the beauty of when you go in and have a pattern. You don't have to do it exactly the way the designer has it. You can tailor it to fit specifically whatever you want. So if you want the pockets, you can put them. If you don't want the pockets, you don't have to put them.
That's right. That's right.
You know, same with like a lot of elements, like even looking at, do you want it long sleeved or do you want it short sleeved? Like you can make that decision for yourself. And then it's nice that everybody's is not turning out exactly the same.
Well, I can remember thinking, what the heck good is a short sleeve sweater? It's an absolutely useless sweater. It can't keep you warm in the winter. But you know what? I'm starting to appreciate the short sleeve sweater, because you can always put something on underneath it too. And it's kind of gives it a different look.
Yeah. And there's days when it's like maybe like around 70 or something out, or I don't know what that is in Celsius, but whatever, where it's like, it's not super warm, but it's not, you don't really want a long sleeve sweater on. And it's like the wool breathes. So you're not getting overly sweaty in it.
Right.
So,
but I also really appreciate the value of a 3/4 sleeve.
Yes.
That's truly where my happy zone.
Yeah.
Doesn't quite get you through in the winter when you want to be snuggled into a sweater, but I love the feeling of that 3/4 sleeve. It's just comfortable to wear. You know, your sleeves aren't, I have this watch, so sleeves are kind of always interfering with it. And yeah.
Well, and I find a lot of times with a long sleeve sweater, I do like it when it's cold, but a lot of times you're always pushing them up because whatever you're doing, the sleeves are getting in the way of, like, you know, washing your hands or getting dinner ready or whatever. So you're always pushing it up anyway.
Yeah.
So, yes, Tracy said, you are the boss of your knitting.
Julia was talking about that last week. We were knitting. I was going to say under the river, but we were under the bridge.
Under the river. I'm glad you weren't under the river.
Okay. I have stupid confession time. Things I should not tell about, but okay. I have vivid dreams, right? I have crazy vivid dreams. And the other night I dreamt that myself and an unknown other person that doesn't work at my business and my 3 ground staff, we were in a spaceship. We were going to the moon. And we all knew that it was a really long time to get to the moon, and we had to take turns driving the spaceship. Now, I know I woke up and I said to my husband, I told him the dream right off the hop, and he said, you do know they drive themselves, right? I said, I know. But in the dream, it was like a focal point of, how are we going to get to the moon? Who's going to drive first? And I know I'm not a good night driver. So I said, I'll take a day shift of driving. This was absolutely ridiculous. But those are my stupid, vivid dreams. And I was telling my staff at work today.
I want to know if there was a yarn shop on the moon.
No, I didn't. Well, we didn't get there. We were still driving. It takes a long time to get there.
Anyways, I think it's, I don't know from Knit Inc. who is on, whether it's Natasha or Petra. But anyways, whichever one it is, says that she's always modifying patterns for personal taste. And I mean, that's why we make our own sweaters, right?
Yes.
So we can adjust them to fit the way we want. So.
Okay, there's something, I think it's your mouse that's near your microphone. You got to separate.
Oh.
Something's moving near your microphone that it's picking up. I don't know what it could be, but it's really loud. Either that or
okay, just a minute. I'll go put this mouse was here. It's never been here before. I'll go put it in the kitchen.
It's just really loud in my ears. I don't know if it's loud for all of you, but it was really loud.
Is that better?
Well, I don't know. You're not moving your mouse. It was something. It had something to do with when you were moving.
Pardon me?
It was something to do with when you were moving.
I'm probably rocking the chair because I can't sit still.
No, it's still doing it. What did you just touch?
I touched the screen to move up the comments. But I do that all the time.
I wonder if somehow the volume is still on your laptop as well or something.
I know why, because I didn't plug my microphone in. Just a minute.
See? Okay, Tracy, I blame you. Tracy, how much wine, how much Prosecco did you give this girl this weekend? You've thrown her off her game. She's forgetting to plug things in.
I don't unplug something else while I do this.
Yeah, don't disappear into the black hole of the internet again either.
Okay.
Oh, it's Petra. Hi, Petra. I just watched your podcast 2 days ago when I was down here sewing. I really like the sweater that you were wearing in the last podcast, the red and black one with the skirt that you got from Japan. It's very pretty. Very pretty. Okay, can you hear me now, Noelle? Oh, what did you do?
I'll be back in a minute. I'm just checking. I have to make sure. Okay.
This is a lovely tour of Noelle's ceiling in her living room.
My husband painted that.
Tracy says it's a secret what they did to you up there.
Yeah, I don't even know.
Yeah.
No,
there you go.
Fun.
So you're all settled. That's much better. Much better.
Okay. Yep.
I was going to say that earlier to you, but what else is in there too? Oh, the name of Petra's podcast is Knit Inc. Actually, she's the comment right below you. So just you'll see her name there. It's Knit Inc. Julia Wellset. What goes on at camp stays at camp. That's right.
That's right. That's right.
That's right.
And Sarah, yes, I was obsessed by the diver that was knitting it in the stands at the Olympics.
Everybody was. Everybody was.
Awesome. That was awesome. So, yeah, I know. And then people saying, "Oh, well, he's not really watching." Well, he can do two things at once.
Yeah, we all knit and watch.
That's right. Yeah. Exactly. So,
his I checked him out on Instagram too. He's got quite a following, and I'll bet you that following just shot to the moon this week, right?
Yeah.
Or this past 2 weeks, I guess. 2 weeks it's been on.
Oh, Barb said he made a gold medal cozy for his medal.
He did. I saw that this morning. That was hilarious. It holds the medal and the ribbon around it. So everything's tight. He said so it doesn't get scratched.
Yes. Yeah, my kids sent me pictures of it, so they noticed. So anyway, I don't know what Sarah's talking about here that says look like some tricky intarsia. I don't know what pattern that was. Was that the pattern that Petra had on?
I don't know if she's talking about that or the metal cozy.
Oh, it had a pattern on it?
Yes, he had the British flag on one side.
I didn't see that. I only saw him sitting knitting. I didn't see the medal holder.
Well, Petra's sweater, if anybody's asking about the sweater, it's the water lily pattern.
Okay.
And it is really pretty. She's making a Deshane now too.
Okay.
And Natasha's making the primrose that you made.
Mm-hmm.
And it's beautiful. She's doing a really nice job.
Tracy said that he was knitting a sweater at the Olympics.
Oh, that's the intarsia thing. Yeah, that looked like crazy intarsia. Kudos to him that he could do that.
I know. Like, shouldn't there be like a knitting
sitting in the stands
category in the Olympics?
Right.
Come on.
Right?
Yeah.
A 6-day kid blanket. Pat saw a pattern on a podcast and she thought of me. A 6-day kid blanket.
Okay.
By Betty McKnit. Oh, I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous of that name. Is that a real name?
Okay, Barb wants to know the name of Karen's podcast. Karen's podcast is A Yarn Tale.
A Yarn Tale. TAIL, tail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Valerie says she wants to join 2 brioche panels, but she wants the neckline to be more crew and less boat neck. I've never knit. I've only knit a shawl, a cowl actually with brioche. I've never knit a sweater with brioche, so I don't know. And can you join the triangle shoulder panel? I don't know. I don't
Uh,
know. Brioche is, I don't know, because you'd want to get like a nice finished edge. So I'm not really sure. I don't know if anybody else has any ideas on that.
I've seen the sweater she's knitting. It's a
Mhm.
beautiful pattern that she's got going in her brioche. It's absolutely beautiful. But beyond that, Valerie, I'm the same. I've knit only 2 brioche things, and one was a shawl, no seaming.
Mhm.
Yeah, sorry. But that doesn't mean somebody else isn't going to pop in
No,
here.
no, and it's like you can always like usually I find whatever I put into YouTube, but you can usually find something on it.
Mm-hmm.
So if someone's done it, there's probably something out there that'll at least give you a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
and a triangle shoulder pattern. Trying to think, it must go like this. So what are you joining it to? Like, are you picking up stitches to go down or
Are you trying to make like a saddle
shoulder?
A saddle shoulder? I'm not sure. Mm.
Tracy said try and find another crew neck brioche and see what the directions are with that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Kim wants to know what your favorite cast on is for a top down crew neck sweater with 1x1 ribbing. Well, I know what mine is. Mine's
Tubular cast on. That's
Yeah.
our, both of us. That would be
Yeah.
our favorite. We like the way it just sort of appears out of nowhere.
And other than that, if I wasn't going to do that, like sometimes depending if the yarn is like a textured kind of yarn, then the tubular doesn't necessarily look as great. My second option would be a German twisted.
Yeah, which would
'Cause you
be
still
what
get-
we would
yeah,
be
you
using
still
at the
get
top of, yeah, which is the same as what we would use at the top of a sock ribbing.
Yeah.
That's how I cast on all of my cuff down socks.
Yeah.
So,
And sometimes if you want,
because
on
it
your
gives you
ribbing-
more stretch. And if you're doing
Yes.
a crew neck, you definitely want to have that stretch in the neck.
Yeah.
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 Okay, so Sarah has jumped in there to give some answers back to Valerie.
You could knit a long triangle to fit into the shoulder seam to make the
neck
neck
opening rounder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
the pattern is saying to do a 3 needle bind off, but then that would be a boat neck. So she's thinking she could knit shoulder saddles and join the panels. Yeah, I agree. I think that would work.
Yeah.
And Valerie, as Julia says, you're the boss of your knitting.
That's right. That's right. Now, Kim said she just watched Andrea Mowry video and it's pretty involved. So I don't know if that's the one on the tubular or what that was, because I think Kim was Kim the one that asked about the, yes.
Yes.
She said she just watched Andrea Mowry's and it's pretty involved. Very Pink Knits has good videos too, because I find sometimes, depending on what I'm looking at, I'll go to 2 or 3 different videos first to see which one is the easiest to follow, or like, because sometimes it's just the way they explain it. It's not necessarily that what you have to do is that difficult. It might be just the way they explain it. And there's a couple of different ways of doing a tubular cast on. Some will show you how to do it with waste yarn to start, and that might be a little bit easier at first. And then some show you how to do it directly onto the needle. So,
and depending on how or what your yarn is, we don't know that either. Certain methods may be easier. Like, do you remember the hat incident, Noelle?
Yes,
we were doing.
That would have been easier if we had have done
a waste yarn.
Yeah.
We were using very fine fingering yarn to do a tubular cast on for a hat brim, and it wasn't going very well either. Yeah. We got it, but we didn't like it. We didn't enjoy it, the process.
No. And mine was like really dark yarn, so it was like very hard to see.
Really hard to see.
And we were in a hotel room drinking wine.
Okay, so the wine might have been the problem, or it may have contributed to the problem.
But luckily, the wine was really dark too. So
yeah,
my wine was the same color as my hat.
But that was good, because if you spilled a little bit of the wine, we weren't going to have to worry. Mine was a light gray, but it didn't make the process any easier. No. It was tricky. The yarn was really thin.
We had bought just those cheap needles, so because we didn't have the right needle size, and the needle wasn't the easiest to work with.
No,
the cord was not very flexible. So, and Emily agrees tubular. So, and she said, just find a tutorial and follow it without worrying about why it works.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
That's a good point. Don't try to figure out why, just do.
So,
And then your brain will eventually click and you're like,
just
I
try
get
it
it now.
on like just try it on like maybe 15, 16 stitches to start and see if you get it and if it looks the way you want before you start doing it on like your whole neckline.
Yep.
So
Klaska, she wants to know what I use for my sock cast on when I'm knitting cuff down. When I'm knitting cuff down like this, 99% of the time I do the German twisted cast on.
I do mostly too, but once in a while I'll just decide I want to do something different and I'll do a tubular. But definitely when I go up, when I do a toe up, I use
a tubular.
Or I just tried that one where you can do the bind up that looks like, it was the Norwegian bind up, I think, that looks like
yes,
a German twisted cast on.
Yeah.
So
Kim says that some didn't show you how to knit in the round. Try
if you just
Googling, tubular cast on in the round.
Yeah.
And then something should come up for what you need.
Because I'm pretty sure Very Pink Knits will have one. Chili Dog Knits.
Chili Dog, yes.
She'll have them. Who's the one? Roxanne Richardson. She'll have one.
Yes. Yeah.
And all of those are pretty good. And probably Suzanne Bryan. A lot of Suzanne Bryan videos are really good for technique. So she probably has one. So yeah, so I know I go through and I'll look at a couple, and I like the ones with more video and less words. Like I just want to see what their hands are doing. But it depends on how you learn. Right? Some people learn better if it's written out. Some people learn better with looking at it. So
and sometimes it depends on what I'm doing too. Like if there's something going on around me, I need to see it printed on the page. Yeah. But if I'm sitting by myself, then audio and video would be better.
Yeah.
But you have to find the method that works the best for you.
Yeah.
Klaska won something from Ginger Snap. What did you win, Klaska? Do tell. And Licka, are you reading the Licka?
Yeah, that come out with a new swivel cord that fits the existing interchangeables. Yeah, that would be interesting to try.
So these have a swivel too. I'm using those little C knits and they swivel. Now, okay. I don't see the benefit in it. I thought that was a really cool feature. And I thought, they swivel. I don't have swivel tips. This is really cool.
It might be if you have a bigger project and more so a project that you're doing on like not
longer cords. I could see where a swivel would be really helpful, right? Because your cords kind of get, but on these little guys, but I like these needles. I've been kind of consistently using them.
Yep. Now go back. Jean says she's totally a why person. So she wants to know how and why something works and she understands it better and can put that. Yeah. And that's great. And I think if you even do it and just like for me, I have to follow the directions the first time to see how it goes. And then, but I think sometimes you just have to take a leap of faith and try it. And I think that you might get that information out of it after you've done it once. You would see why it works once you've done it. But
Tracy said she thinks she's the only one who doesn't like the tubular cast on. I know, because I remember, I think it was her when she made her weekender. She said she didn't like that cast on. But I love that cast on. I think that looks,
I really like it.
The thicker the yarn, the better I like it too, right?
Yeah.
Like when you get up to a worsted.
Of us being the boss of our knitting, right? You can do what you like.
Yep.
So if you like a different one better, you can use that one. If you don't want pockets, you don't have to put pockets. If you want pockets, put pockets. So, I mean, it's nice that there is so many different cast on and cast offs. And I think the one thing that you just have to remember for it has to work for whatever the purpose is that you're doing. Because obviously at the top of the sock, you don't want something that's really tight. You need something that's loose or looser so that you can get it on. And around a neck, you want to make sure that you're still going to be getting it over your head. But as long as whatever one you use works for the purpose that you're using it for, it doesn't matter which one you use.
No.
So like you're not, just because pattern calls for to do it one way doesn't necessarily mean that you have to use that specific cast on or bind off. So there are lots of other ones that will work. and how one particular one looks or works might also depend on like what type of a knitter you are, like whether you're a tight knitter or a loose knitter or so.
Oh, Mary, that's right. I remember Mary's needles, her needles broke.
Yep.
But
I wonder if that had to do with the swivel cord. Like mine's been fine.
Yeah, mine have been fine. I don't know. I've maybe done 3 pairs of socks with them. So they're not in like the heaviest rotation, but they're always in there.
There you go. Mary said maybe she's a strong knitter.
So strong fingers, Mary. Is it still raining there, Mary? Did you get a little more rain? She was pretty excited yesterday to get some rain.
Yeah.
So we've got some big family things coming up, Noelle. Both of us. Both of our boys are getting married next week.
They are. Yep.
Next.
Well, not my son's not this coming Saturday, but the Saturday after, the 14th. So.
Yep. When I was knitting this weekend, under the bridge over the water, I was saying that I've been I'm not sad. These are happy events. I'm not sad, but I was really missing my daughter after I came back, and I think I can say this now without tears because I've cried enough tears this weekend. So I'm past all of that. But I said I was really missing my daughter, and to have her go through an entire pregnancy, and I really only got to be with her for 1 week, felt like I was getting cheated a little bit. And I was with Heather, and she was talking about, how much fun she's having with her granddaughter, and not to take that away from Heather. It kind of makes me feel sad to know that I'm not going to see my grandbaby that much. And so then I started thinking on the drive home, I was thinking, oh my gosh, the next time I see my daughter, she's not just going to be my daughter anymore. She's going to be somebody's mom. She's going to be somebody's mom.
Yep.
And it just got me. And I was kind of puddly by the time I got home. I was thinking about that. I was telling my husband. And then Damon calls up and he says, well, I have my wedding suit on. Alex is away for her little up north weekend with her girlfriend. And he said, so I've got my wedding suit on. I was going to FaceTime you. And I said, well, no, you only live around the corner. Come over and show me. And he came over, and I'm looking at him, and he looks so handsome. And I was thinking, like, in a week, you're not just going to be my boy anymore. You're going to be somebody's husband.
Yeah. Well, this isn't my last one to get married. So this is.
And you've had some practice. This is not, you've had lots of practice.
Next year, so.
But gosh, they're like, it's just like so much happening in my family at one time. And they are happy events, and I'm happy. But it was, like I said, it was a weepy weekend. There was a lot of tears coming out of these eyes. That's for sure.
So Deborah wanted to know what we're both wearing. Okay. I am wearing, I'm going to show you. This is, Tracy gave me this. So this
I didn't think that was yours. I thought that's a color you've never knit.
This is new. So this is, Tracy gave me this. It's the slanted neck tee by Lana Knits, and it's in hemp for knitting, and it's like perfect yarn for this type of weather. And it's this really pretty deep teal. Deep
it is. It's a really color. Pretty color. Yep.
So thanks, Tracy.
And I'm just wearing nice a summer shirt.
Perfect for this weather. And I know I don't think I've had a sweater on that somebody else knit me since like my mom knit me one back when I was probably 8. So that's so nice. So
yep.
And I do have some hemp, but I'm pretty sure I'm not going to get to knitting it this year. So next year. There's always next year.
Thank you, Karen. She said that is a lot. It is. It's a lot.
Yep. Mary said she loves watching her sons become dads, and it is. It's like, it's amazing. I was like, my oldest son has 2 little girls. And honestly, like, he did not touch babies before he had kids. Like, babies were like, and he was just amazing. I was just, could not be prouder. So.
And this weekend, 2 of our friends had babies. And so that was super exciting. And they were big boys. Our first friend, she had a 9-pound baby boy. And okay, so my baby Radar, My record is blown. I was completely wrong. I was convinced, absolutely convinced she was having a little girl and she had a boy.
Yeah,
And so my record is blown. And then some friends of ours that live across the street, they just had a son this weekend as well. And he was 8 pounds, 12 ounces, I think. So big boys, big boys.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh, thanks, Tracy. Tracy says it looks great on me.
It does. I love the color. It's not a color that you would, I can totally see Tracy wearing it. Definitely. That's a Tracy color for sure. And I love it on you. It looks great.
Lots of, I actually, when I bought yarn this week, I actually bought a lot of colors that weren't pink. So, and some of them were more like I just bought this.
Ooh,
can you see?
I like color? That. Is that like a real deep peacocky green?
Yes.
Yes.
And that is Rauma Gamma Sari. So it's kind of like a sport weight.
Yes, I have some of that.
Yep.
Not in that color.
And I bought this.
Oh.
Again, not my color. Not
nope,
a normal
that's
color.
That's my color. So what are you doing with that?
I think I'm going to do that shawl by, what's her name? Fiber Tales. It's got the bumblebees on it.
Oh, that's cute. That's a cute one. I like that.
But first I want to go back and Tracy just chimed in here, and I knew this. Her daughter just had a baby boy today. So her daughter had a baby just after we left.
Oh, yay.
And it weighed 9.8 pounds.
Oh, goodness.
I'm like, holy cow. So anyway, congratulations, Tracy. That's awesome. So
wow.
And now Tracy has 2 little grandsons.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, it's baby season, clearly.
Yeah, for sure. Tara says much love. So see you later, Tara. And Sarah wants to know what yarn shop did I go to? Well, I went to a couple. On the way up, I stopped at Wool and Silk in Shelburne. And that is where I got this. That was the Echo Tweed. And okay, I did buy something. So I also bought the Remix Light there, but I bought it in a pink.
That's nice. I like that yarn. Is that a?
Yeah. It's
a blend. Is it a wool silk?
It is a 100% recycled fibers. So it's 30% nylon, 27 cotton, 24 acrylic, 10 silk, and 9 linen. And it feels amazingly soft. And it's supposed to be like a sport weight yarn, but in a 100 gram ball, there's 432 yards. So anyways. Yeah, Tracy, that is funny. I saw that. Tracy was knitting a baby sweater, but it won't fit because she thought she was doing the small, but she was doing the newborn. It's not going to fit.
No.
So
no.
But anyways, I want to show you something else too that Tracy got me.
Ooh, is that what's the name? Plutalope? No.
No, it's not Plutalope, and it's not, what's that one everybody's knitting with now? Nutidin.
It's not?
No, this is actually from MacAuslands in Prince Edward Island. So it looks exactly like Opie or whatever, but they're bigger plates. And they're like so cheap.
Now, are you going to knit with that, or are you going to weave with that?
No, I'm going to knit with it. I shouldn't say they're cost effective.
Yes.
So because
they're easy on the wallet.
Yes. But and like look at the color, it's gorgeous.
It's beautiful. So it's really rich.
So I've got enough to do a sweater in these. And the little baby sweater that Tracy was doing, I can't remember the name of it, but it had a pattern in it that was like a broken rib. Mm-hmm. And when she washed it, you would not believe what this feels like when she washed it. It was
I'm excited to see that.
So and the stitch pattern just looked amazing. So anyway, so I got 2 of those. So that was one yarn store was Wool and Silk, and the other one was the Purple Sock in Coldwater. Mm-hmm. And that's where I got the Gamma Sari, but I also bought Rauma. Yeah. And the phenol is more of a fingering weight. And I thought that kind of lightish, grayish, oatmealish color would make just a nice,
you could have some of that.
Mm-hmm. And again, Lynn, who owns the store, she had she was working on a sweater in this, but she just had the edgings to do, but she'd already blocked it. And the difference between feeling this before it was blocked and feeling it after block is unbelievable. Like it just softened up so much. Well, weren't your mitts?
Yes, that's what my mitts are. And I love them. They feel so good. But wasn't there just somebody that was in here a couple of weeks ago and they actually washed their yarn before they knit with it?
They were talking about washing the whole super soft.
Mm-hmm,
because the whole super soft does feel rougher than this when you knit with it. Because I think this one has probably got more of the spinning oil out of it, whereas the whole super soft still has a lot of the spinning oil still in it.
Okay.
So it does feel like ropier kind of when you're knitting with it. So then you need to wash it when you're done to get that.
Okay, so when I use that to do the mittens, I didn't have a problem at all.
Or the super soft. Yes.
To do the mittens, I didn't have a problem at all.
Well, I think this is maybe a little bit more process because you can see if you look at it, like it actually does look a little bit plumper.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you looked at that in comparison to what the super soft looks like.
So. Can you say again where the big spool came from? Woolen.
Oh, okay. MacAuslands Woollen Mills in Prince Edward Island. I will, you know what, once this video is up, I'll actually put a link down below it to their website. And you probably have to call them. Like they're not I don't know if you can shop online or not, but you might have to call them. But I'll put a link to their website underneath the video once we're done.
Okay, good. Okay. And I just want to back up a minute because congratulations to Mary, because she said that her last two sons were 10.5 pounds each. So that's a pair of big boys right there. And Klaska chimed in and she said that what she had won from Ginger Snap was actually their advent calendar. So she'll get that in November. That's a nice win for sure. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yep. So
absolutely.
Oh yeah. Tracy said she had to call when she ordered it. And Tracy, actually the color of hers is probably kind of like this. I call it pencil roving. Like, I don't know if that's a name for it or not. Like it's an unspun yarn. So it's kind of already in, like you could put it through the spinning wheel really quickly because you really wouldn't have to draft it out anymore.
Right.
But I think it's kind of fragile when you work with it, but
it is. See, it always kind of freaks me out to work with yarn like that because it breaks so easy. But after the garment is made, like it's super strong, but it does make me nervous to work with it.
And I think, and it's warm and it's light. So like there's a lot of yardage in a smaller weight. So you end up with a nice warm garment that's not particularly heavy. So, Sarah, you have to look at the price list. In their price list, it does have it. And then like Tracy said, you do have to call them. But if you go down and you look, they've got it in their price list. It tells you how much. Oh, and Tracy said search plates. But I thought the last time I looked at the price list for the yarn, and if you look down below, it did have the roving there.
And also going back up in the comments, Janet knit a weekender with her remix.
Oh, okay.
And she said her daughter loved the sweater.
Because there's remix light and there's remix.
Right. And I think you have the light though, right?
I have the light, yeah. So.
Yeah.
Okay, and then of course I had to get some fiber too. I got this. Isn't that gorgeous?
Yes, it's so pretty. Where's that from?
I got this at the store in Coldwater, so the purple sock, but this comes from, it's Polworth Silk Roving. So it's 85% Polworth, 15% silk, and it comes from Dragonfly Fibers. So there's the little.
Very nice.
So yeah, so super fun week.
Super fun week.
And Tracy had also hand dyed this. You see all that?
Oh, very nice.
Isn't that gorgeous?
It is.
So that's only part of it. So I actually started spinning that while I was up there. So it's kind of like pinks and purples and blues, and it feels amazing. It's 50% merino, 50% viscose. So I should actually be able to make socks with it.
It's pretty. It's really pretty. And she dyed it, you said?
She did. Yep.
Okay, so Tracy, all you have left to do now is just to get a sheep, right?
That's right.
You're
Or a
dyeing
yak,
it, you're
or a
spinning
yak.
it, you're knitting it, or a yak. Yeah, but then you've got
Yeah,
to run around your property and pick the yak. You have to go foraging for the yak, right?
yeah, yeah.
So,
So Mary wanted to know what weight of yarn the plate is. I'm not sure that there's really a weight listed. It just depends how you want to knit it. So you might have to do a couple of test swatches just to see how you like it, to see what works the best.
so
So
Sarah says it's 750 for a plate for
yeah,
that
yes,
big thing, that
yes,
plate,
and
that dinner plate of yarn.
it's 250 grams.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So
Now, did you say it's rustic?
well, not to me.
Okay. How
Not
would
to
it be to
me.
me?
I think it feels pretty. This stuff feels pretty soft. I don't know where I put it. Right away. But it doesn't, and it doesn't have, like, you know how some you'll get some rustic yarns and they've still got a whole bunch of the vegetable matter in it. Like
Yes.
it really doesn't feel like like it has a lot of that in it at all. Okay, it disappeared. I don't know what happened to it. Oh, found it.
Rolled away.
Okay. So yeah, so if you look, like it's pretty clean.
Yeah.
I think it feels pretty soft, and like I said, I saw Tracy's swatch that she had done.
Yep.
And washed. It felt amazing.
Okay.
So
Do you have any ideas of sweaters for it? What you're up to?
no.
No,
Not
yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. But I will. I've got it. Like I said, I was working on my shifty. I have to get that. Well, I have to get that done by the end of August. So I have to get that done. I have the socks that I have to knit for my son for his birthday before Friday. So, but I did get the ones done. Remember last week I had to knit these by the end of the month, and I'd only started one. So they're done.
Yep. They look great.
And I'm really happy with how they turned out. That's the skip pattern.
Yep.
So you don't see it super well in the yarn, but it just gives it the sock like a nice texture.
They look like they're really cozy socks.
Yeah, and then I did the you can see it there, the shadow wrap heel. So
Okay. So you've started a plate frenzy now. Sarah's got the prices out. Dawn says if you want to order more, she's in on that. Mary wants it for a sweater because she's all over that price for 250 grams. What other colors did they have?
Tracy said that in your terms it's soft, Kelly.
In my terms, okay.
Yes. So okay. So here's my new sock that I'm doing for my son's birthday.
Oh, that's cute.
So it's got the polar bears.
Yes, very cute.
So, and that's a pattern by Twin Stitch Designs.
You know, I have that yarn. I have the yarn and the pattern. The yarn that it was Akara Yarns, was selling a kit, and I bought it, and it's sitting in the tote box of small tote boxes of projects that I want to get onto needles.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just sitting there, and I've got to get it out, going on it.
Polar bear. So I did that. I don't know if you can see the stitch that I did in the.
So nice.
So that was the stitch that Tracy was doing in the sweater, and I really liked the look of it. And I thought, that would be really nice to do a sock in that. And if you look at it, like pull it off here, it makes a really cozy texture.
Yeah.
Sock. So I really
okay. So broken rib though, is that?
Yeah. So it's knit a row, and then the next row is knit one, purl one, and then knit a row, and then the next row is knit one, purl one. So, but you get it just. I don't know. I just really like the look of it. So I did that for the sock. So I've got the other one cast on. So I've really only got one sock to knit by Friday. So I should be able to get that done. So
I like the looks of it. I just don't like the idea of that purl. That's a lot of purling.
Yeah, but not really.
Oh, but really.
But not if you. But I mean, I don't know. I did all those work socks that were knit 3 purl 1 rib.
Yeah.
15 pairs. So. Anyways,
I don't know.
Tracy says she's using the plate as a sport weight, but she likes a more firm gauge. So probably you could almost knit it. I would say you could probably knit it to like a DK weight. It just depends on like what fabric you want. So.
Okay, fair enough. I'm interested. I'd be willing to try that.
Yeah. Oh, thanks everybody. And this is I changed the pattern on the sock a little because it was supposed to have the polar bears down here too. And I thought I didn't want to have that color work down. Well, first of all, I wanted to do this stitch, and I thought I didn't really want to have the color work down at the bottom because then you've got an extra thickness of layers on only one part of your foot to put into your shoe. So
yeah.
So I left it off the bottom. And I mean, my son's going to be 30. I think he'll be okay with the polar bears just at the top.
Yeah. Oh, no, Tracy retracted. She says, Kelly, it's more rustic than soft. Okay. I'll have to feel it
You'll
first.
have to feel it. I mean, that's what I said. Someone had actually asked me on Ravelry if I thought that the yarn for the primrose sweater was soft. And I do, but I also said I'm probably not the best person to ask because
you like rustic.
I like rustic. Yeah. So,
yeah.
Or I don't, it's not that I don't have a hard time wearing it. I don't feel like it feels scratchy. So I'm probably not the person to ask.
Sarah, I did start the baby blanket. I'm doing the chevron baby blanket by Espace Tricot. I gave up on the crocheting idea because I just couldn't find a chevron that I was really thrilled with. And so I just went with the knitting. I'm about halfway finished it. Good. I haven't picked it up in a while. I've got to get back on that. October is going to be here in a wink.
Yeah. Yeah, Kelly, you could do a broken rib that has very little purling because you could do probably just like knit a row and then do the next row like knit 3 purl one.
Yeah, I guess I could do that.
Yeah. Yep.
And you didn't put that on the sole either. You just put that on the front of the foot, right on the top.
I have it all around the leg.
Yes.
Once I was done the polar bears, but then on the foot is just stocking stitch.
Yeah, and it would make a really nice sock.
Mm-hmm. And that yarn is really nice too. This is a Lolo Did It. Dawn had actually picked this up for me years ago now when she went to Las Vegas.
Yeah, and I got some too from there.
I can't remember. It was the blend that's like, I think it's like 75% merino, 25% bamboo or something like that. So it does feel really nice. And Kimmy wants to know if the plate is pencil roving, and yes, that's what I would call it. But I think it is something that you kind of have to do a swatch to see how you want it to knit up, like what gauge you want. And Petra says that she thinks the primrose yarn is soft too, and I do think it's soft. But it is a rustic yarn, but I do think it is soft.
Mm-hmm,
okay. Mm-hmm. It's a non-superwash. I shouldn't say rusticy. It's a non-superwash yarn.
So. Okay.
But.
Good.
Elizabeth says she finished her clover leaf baby blanket with crochet border, and she doesn't crochet, and the baby's due Sunday.
Yay! That's a win. That's a win.
Yay!
That's a win.
That's what my knitting's always like. Oh, I have to have this done by.
No, here's what I'll be like. I'll be on the plane on the way to meet my grandchild, and I'll still be knitting the blanket. That'll be me.
Well, I used to always do the boys matching sweaters for Christmas to wear on Christmas, and literally I would be sewing one together on Christmas Eve after they went to bed. And that was when a lot of patterns were patterns you had to sew together, so the knitting couldn't just be done. You had to actually sew it together. So
yeah, that's me for everything. That was every project in school was done on the last night, and that's like me for podcast day. I'm putting the finishing touches on something the night before. I only pack 3 hours before we leave for the airport. That's me.
Yeah,
it's me.
I say I live in organized chaos.
I need the pressure of a deadline. That's me. Oh, good night, Karen.
Actually, yeah, good night, Karen. That's why I think a lot of that knit-alongs are good, because that it puts pressure on me to finish something by a certain point. But I mean, I don't want my knitting to be pressure, right? But it just gets me more motivated.
That's not even true. You're probably the most competitive person. You're even more competitive than me, and I thought I was bad. So
I don't want Tracy to chime in about competitive on this.
Yeah. We'll have to block Tracy's comments if she starts sharing your secrets.
That's right. Yeah, she knows. So yeah, but that was my dad's fault because he was very competitive. So.
Okay, so what have we got going in Ravelry in our groups? Do you want to talk about that?
Yes, we have got our Shifty Knit Along. Shift Happens Knit Along. And it is running until August the 31st.
Not only does it
And
happen in our knit along, it happens here every Tuesday night.
that's right, every Tuesday night. Yep. So you can knit anything you want that's got the shifty pattern in it. So if you want to like make up your own pattern, like you can do that too, but it's got to have that shifty pattern in it. But Andrea Mowry does have 4 that are published right now, and that's the shift, which is the cowl, the night shift, which is the big cozy shawl that we've done in the Akari, the shifty, which is the sweater, and then the shift along, which is the hat.
Yeah.
So yep. So get your projects in. There's both a chatter thread and a finished object thread on Ravelry. So get your project. You've still got a whole month. So, I mean, you have time to start even another one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, and you can let everybody know about our sock cowl.
So the sock cowl is our year-long sock along. And so it's every time you finish a pair of socks, put it in there. And each month we draw for a prize or 2. And so your socks stay in there. So as your numbers of socks increase over the year, so do your chances to win. We won't let you win twice on the same pair of socks, but all of your previous socks stay in there for the whole year. So that's how that works. And we announce that prize in our podcast, in our monthly podcast, which we're behind on now because of all of our life events. Yes.
That's right. That's right. So,
but we'll be back on track shortly.
Yep.
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 And Sarah's going to do the shift along hat.
Good. It was a fun hat. We couldn't get it done in a night, but we tried.
No matter how much wine we drank, it just wasn't happening. Amazing.
Wasn't happening in a night.
And we thought we were going to wear it to VKL the next day.
We were going to knit a fingering weight hat in a night.
In a night. Oh, we were confident we were going to wear it the next day. But you know what? We did take it to the next BKL and we ended up wearing them.
There, that's right.
So that was all good. All good. But Tracy has a question about
the colorway.
I think she wants to know, do you know what the numbers are in Rachel's?
Is it Rachel's or is it Jacqueline's?
Oh.
So Tracy, is it the one with the pink in it, or is it the one that are just the neutrals?
And Barb has only 30 more stitches in her. See, you made it way ahead of 2 hours. Yep. Way ahead. Way ahead. That's excellent.
Okay. Because Tracy, if it's mine.
Jacqueline's.
Okay. Jacqueline's is color number.
Wasn't it the gray and the beige?
Gray, I think is 1.
The gray is 1. And the beige, I think it might be 2.
Okay.
I don't have the beige down here. I think it's the 2 most neutral colors that they have, though. I know that the gray is 1.
I'll check with her, Tracy, and I'll send you a message on Instagram.
Yeah.
So, but I think it's 1 and 2, but I'll check that. I know, because I wouldn't have thought of doing that. And Jacqueline's really is knitting up beautifully.
It is. It is. I really like it too. And she's going to be the lucky one because it will go with everything, right?
Yeah.
It's just so nice and neutral.
What? My pink goes with everything.
Okay. Anyway. Well, everybody, we're at an hour and 15 minutes. So that's usually about when we start to wrap things up. It has been absolutely lovely spending another hour with everybody tonight.
Yeah. Thanks everybody for joining in. So.
Yeah. We're looking forward. We're hoping that the Knit Festival in the Woolstock is going to happen in October. And I think if I'm still here, I think I'll be on the plane the next day headed west if I haven't gotten the call to go sooner. So that'd be really nice if it's going to move forward to see everybody. or to see those of you that are in Southern Ontario anyway. And was chatting about it on the weekend, about how it's kind of an interesting concept, this podcasting thing. It's a little bit of a one-sided relationship in that you can see us and we can't see you, but I certainly feel like we know you. And definitely happy with the group that we're growing here. And it's so nice to touch base with all of you on a regular basis. And it really does feel like we're getting together with like our friends that live down the street. It does, because we know so much. We know your projects, and we definitely appreciate you taking the time to come in and visit with us on a Tuesday night.
Yep. So.
Oh, Jacqueline is saying colorways 1 and 7. 1 and 7 for the Akari.
Okay.
All right. So we'll see you all back here next Tuesday. And hi, Jean. First time she was here for a live stream. We're so glad you made it.
Yep.
So happy you made it. Okay. Take care, everybody. Stay safe.
Thanks, everybody.
Happy knitting.
Happy knitting.